welcome to 709 Meridian, an audio commentary podcast. My name is Andrew,
And this is D.
and we are over halfway done now in our Fantastic Four quartet, preparing us
Yeah.
for the drop of first steps in 2025 coming up here. But yes, we are going to be watching Fantastic Four Rise of the Silver Surfer. Why is he rising? So we could have a bunch of posters that say Rise on it, as I recall.
Yeah, those were terrible posters.
Yeah, they really, especially given that I like this one, they really poorly marketed it, and we'll get to just the train wrecking of sort of Fox
hmm
genre films as we get kicking. But yeah, so this is 2007, reunites the entire team, all of those contracts held. Nobody had
hmm
anything better to do.
And the
um,
first one was, it made reasonable money.
Yeah, the first one was a big opening weekend hit with the families, and the second one was not.
No.
And that's sort of like the first one, they announced the sequel the Tuesday after it dropped or something, right? Like
Yeah.
this one, nobody heard anything. There was also a writer's strike either after, during this one, or just before it, or just after. And basically, it was the big 2000s whatever writer's strike. It also hit the Shield, which is funny since Samina Chiklis is in this.
Yeah.
Um, who knows if that held it up, but or derailed it. What doesn't matter anymore. It doesn't fucking matter. It's not even that interesting. All right. The behind the scenes machinations of fucking superhero licenses of the aughts is
Yeah.
going to be a great streaming series for 2035. Okay. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
All right. Starting in 4, 3, 2, 1. Play. Wait, I'm sorry. Did it just say 91 minutes? It 92 minutes.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so yes, this definitely got hit by the strike. Because if they didn't have a fucking extra 4 minute scene, right? Like,
I don't think so.
no. This didn't have any deleted scenes as far as I remember. It didn't have any um there was no extended cut.
Mm.
It got an inglorious drop. And some of that is the movie's fucking fault for hold on, let's meet Galactus here.
The storm called Galactus.
He's a storm. That sounds like a song. I called my storm Galactus. Isn't that? Yeah, like one of the Seven Brides for Seven Brothers songs, but about
There you go.
Galactus. Yeah.
Oh, they made him a lot like, okay, this opening is very Transformers the movie.
Which, of course, hadn't dropped yet, right?
No, not that one. The animated
Oh,
one
the animated one. Yes. Okay.
with Unicron, where he's a very Galactus like being that just sucks the life out of planets and shit.
Constantine film again. Bernd Eichinger. He's the Michael Uzlin of Fantastic Four properties. Um,
Oh, we got a logo.
we got a logo. Um, in Doctor Strange 1, do we see Dormammu when he's in the alternate universe or no?
The big face thing.
Okay. I
It
mean,
was a
they
big face wall.
they don't really commit in that either. So let's be fair.
Yeah.
All right, this is just taking me back to 1988. Fucking Flight of the Navigator there. All right. So Tim Story is one of those directors. Has he ended up on TV yet?
I don't know.
Like Tim Story's some guy who just like never fucking found like
Well, yeah, he caught heat, and then he just wasn't in demand anymore. You know, they
yeah.
Disneyed his ass. When you're not making money, you gotta take the back seat.
So here we're getting this comet causing all sorts of havoc across the world on a budget again. So we are seeing the budget play out. And now we're already to TV news, which is the budget of budgeting.
Oh my God. See the difference? See how she looks like a robot there or something? Jessica Alba.
It's the
The
fucking wig.
contacts
It's the
and the wig
contacts and the wig.
look so bad in this.
Well, I think the real problem is the contacts. Like,
Hey, look
I
at
think
that. Like
the wig, I think she could get away with the wig if the contacts didn't
the
look
wig
so
is
inhuman.
yellow. Like,
If they were going to do this, they should have like done some um see, this is what I was talking about in the first one is they had absolutely no rapport. In this one they've got the rapport down. Like,
yeah,
but where's like the Fantasticar, right? Like
right.
they even
When
had
they
that
have,
in the fucking Corman one. But now we're doing it fully for humor, right? Like the
mm,
things, on the plane, Reed's gonna use his still terrible looking arm stuff and get
yeah,
busted. Ottman's back on the music, lucky us. And Johnny is Johnnying. My God, those contacts are
yeah.
what the
It's
fuck
it's
is going
it's
on?
kind of it's almost scary looking. Like
I think they like some of the issue is they're irritating her eyes. Like,
yeah, because she doesn't blink. She barely blinks.
okay, this on the other hand, um, it's like they didn't want to show the thing actually inconveniencing the people. So, like,
Yeah, it, a regular size thing just.
yeah, it's it's a weird because that's actually a fat joke. That's not like a thing joke. So, like, it's like,
Yeah.
wait, yeah, and that's some of the problem is like, well, here we are at the fucking, oh my God, I forgot that it looked like that. That was terrible. Um, the Baxter building there. And now here we just have your standard. It looks like the police headquarters in Beverly Hills Cop 4 or whatever. Um, yeah. See, they, I guess, fucking Owen and Jessica spent like bonded on the press tour or something, right? Like
Yeah,
everybody's
because
like
it's a little
gotta,
tighter.
yeah, they've got to like it doesn't feel forced anymore. Except then half of her shit is the contacts are fucking it up.
Yeah, it's distracting as hell.
Also, they better hope that the new guy doesn't settle into being age 28 to 42 quite the way that Evans does.
Hmm.
Like, he's lost his youthful vibe here. His big breakout for me was Sunshine,
Huh.
the Danny Boyle one, where he plays the
Wait, Chris Evans was in that?
oh hell yeah.
Huh.
Oh hell yeah. You haven't seen Sunshine? You gotta see Sunshine. That's some good shit.
Yeah,
He's
that
the
age
bad
is
guy.
settling in.
Yeah. And I mean that's fine because that's basically how he looks now. But
Yeah.
like he's lost the youthful, and he was on the tail end of it in the first one anyway. Like
Well, that was at the point where we got to pick a Chris and we got to.
everybody's got to pick a Chris. And don't get, I mean, they picked right with Captain America. Like, I have
Yeah.
issues with him not really ever getting to do. He basically got one fucking movie to himself. And even that he was sharing. But basically, Winter Soldier's the only movie where he got any character development.
Yeah.
So, bummer, but whatever. We'll see. Someday, maybe. Probably not Chris Evans then. Okay, so this fucking thing, why isn't it turning everything to ice there? Okay, so here we are in Latveria. Here we are in now they had the Canadian casting credits, so I would assume that this filmed at like Castle Land, Vancouver or something, like medieval land, Vancouver. Oh, and it's gonna wake him
Uh,
up. Okay. In case you forgot, we're still waiting for a good Doctor Doom. We'll see if we get that from Downey.
I I'm not betting on it at all.
I hate to say this. I don't know. The only time Robert Downey Jr. has completely, well, no, I'm
Mm.
sure there are other times. The only time I've seen it is U.S. Marshals, right? Like, that was a shit cap to his 90s.
Yeah,
Who's that? That's got to be somebody with the hair.
I want to say yeah, but I don't think he even has lines. Today it would be Eric Andre.
Okay, and here we have Andre Brower. Fuck. No, Andre Brower's. Okay.
God, I miss him.
You, you're you're telling me that literally all of our great black male actors in their 50s and from ages 48 to 65 are dead. And we've got the 2024 we've got. Cool. Cool reality. You really fucked us. Like,
Mm.
yeah. So he was at this point, I don't believe that cop show hadn't started yet. Brooklyn Nine-Nine or whatever it's called. I don't
No,
think.
this is way before.
So this was him sort of realizing there wasn't a leading man place for him after leaving Homicide.
Yeah, he was kind of he sort of made a place for himself to be Andre Brower in a lot of things, you know?
Yeah. He did
Like
that FX show around this time, Thief, that I still haven't watched all of, but he
because when
did
he
an
was in
early
movies,
streamer.
he just kind of made that you know how he was kind of a he's a black equivalent to maybe a Will Patton or
Yes. Yes.
even a
Uh,
Ed Harris maybe.
mhm. He was he made it to Will Patton, but he never made it to Ed Harris. Was kind
Right.
of the thing. He never had his breakout supporting thing. My God, how can they not afford these effects?
Yeah, that just look at that shit. I think Red Dress is somebody I
I think the
don't
other one
know.
probably is too. I think they're probably
One of them
TV
I think used to be,
personalities.
yeah, because this was
Hmm.
the age of, this is when MTV was dying out,
Yeah.
and
So what's going to be funny is that we probably will not see this interaction in First Step set in the 60s. Like,
no.
oh, okay. So now, Thing, you can tell his mat, they're hiding more of the body at times to just puff it out so they don't
Hmm.
have to do as much costume. And then also, they've got a lot more like detail in the mask. Right away, this one, I don't know. We should have checked the photographer, but like this one looks a lot better. Not the special effects, but like just the cinematography. Except, and I think it's making her eyes look worse. Like we're suffering for,
Well, there's something in the lighting.
yeah, we're suffering for the quality of these things. Also, her hair looks totally different from the last scene.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's a lot of it had to do with reshoots because I'm seeing a kind of a Margot Kidder Superman 2 going on
Yeah.
with Jessica, where in some scenes she looks kind of fuller in the face, and in other scenes, not so much. Like, but the wig is just bad. And the girl soldier there, she was somebody they were trying to make happen.
Yep. Guess what? It didn't happen. Girl soldier.
She was in a few things though around
Hmm.
then. I think she was one of the Tron girls eventually.
Okay, other things that didn't happen. Owen Gaffard. Owen Gaffard didn't happen. Arguably, as we discussed last time, Jessica Alba didn't have Andre Brower did, but it took
Yeah, he stayed working.
7 years. He stayed working. He finally made a joke of the intensity, and that's when he broke out and became lovable to white people. Like, and then he never got to capitalize on it.
Because he was doing too much. He made a he made this character his shtick in
Yeah,
everything.
and I mean, it's an extension of his detective from Homicide, but in Homicide, you learned that it was an actual professional toggle, and you got to see the character, and it was one of the great reveals of dramatic television and shit, like character
Hmm.
development. But then like here we know he's just Will Patton. He's just Michael Bean in The Rock, right? He's just showing he's Ed Harris in The Rock and everything. That's what he is. Or no, Ed Harris is the bad guy in The Rock. Who's the guy who's the good guy who yells at them a lot in The Rock?
Mm.
Like,
No, I don't remember.
yeah.
I seen that shit once. I think
I saw
maybe twice.
I saw it once in the theater, once on video, didn't like it on video. One more time, I don't know, like 10 years ago or something. And it's like not like it's annoying as fuck, but it's all right. Like even Con Air's like fine for what it is. I
Yeah,
think
that one I have to see again too.
a lot of the problem is just the fucking disappointment, I think, of the oh look, he's got goggles like Batman in the Nightmare verse. Sorry, pre-show stuff, folks. Okay, so here we're getting some more Doctor Doom in his rubber mask. Julian McMahon back to fucking. It's not even metal when they drop it. Jesus Christ.
No, you see the bounce.
It should
And
have
we
like
have to.
broken the pavement.
Doctor Doom usually is his mask, and we're gonna have because Julian McMahon, we're gonna have a very maskless Doom for
But
the
I
most
believe
part.
he's going to get silly at the end, which is where it pays off.
Yeah.
And that's basically so we didn't. I mean, I wasn't paying any attention to this actually, but basically, Johnny has monetized the Fantastic Four brand. He's wears sponsorships.
Yeah, he's very and I actually had kind of a just was thinking it's a very Booster Gold thing
Yes.
that he did, and Evans at the time could have played a really good Booster Gold.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, that she's definitely
Yeah. So, uh,
she was on MTV back in the day.
people talk about sort of the what's the politest way of putting this, the celebrity culture of the early aughts, which actually will probably play out in that Britney Spears streaming show or whatever movie, where we'll get to talk a lot about the sort of commodity, whatever. This is basically like the PG version of it, which is really weird to see. Like, because there's still being like, there he is.
Yeah. Hey, Stan Lee, it's me. What are you doing?
Now, in a different, I also feel like the internet, like 2007 didn't have a lot of rumors and shit. Or if it did, they weren't good rumors. It was that era where people were too interested in access and those terrible fucking contact lenses. Like, why?
Yeah.
Just have the fucking power turn her eyes brown. Um, okay.
Yeah, they're just
But
uh
okay, so this is a great example of what we're like. This is her getting ready for her wedding day scene, and it's entirely for the 13-year-old boys in this family movie, right? Like, this is as close as you can get to. I mean, it's like a PG-11, except when it's a fucking horny PG-13.
mm, Kerry Washington though. Oh my god. Look at it's just
Well, and then they just draw attention to them. Like,
right. They
but
in
I
no
mean,
way look natural or
in
anything.
like doing the Noxzema joke with the invisible woman, like those Noxzema commercials started in like what, 93, 95 or
Yeah.
something. Like, oh my God, look at that. Look at that satellite out of Under Siege 2 Dark Territory. Also, Reed's hair, frizzy, messy, barely gray hair, would have made perfect sense in the first one too when he was trying to figure shit out. Just saying.
Yeah. He is a little more comfortable in this.
And that's why.
But it's just
So
Reed Richards is just a hard character to
yeah,
make. He'd
you
had, I
have.
guess, hmm,
I was gonna say you have to be ready not to like him at times.
That or you have to go into it as a personality. You know how Jeff Goldblum has his
Right,
thing,
right.
Robert Downey. You'd have to be a kind of guy like that. And Pedro,
Yeah,
he's kind of he's a Swiss Army actor,
yeah,
but
we're gonna find out. He's a fucking
for Reed, you need somebody who kind of has a sort of Tom Hanks-ish.
yeah, except what if what they really want is because nobody's gonna show up for Tom Hanks. Now we know that. I
Hmm.
mean, but like, I don't know. I'll be interested to see what my good lady wife thinks when she sees the first preview with Pedro Pascal. If she's like, yeah, let's go see that. Is he going to be a dressed Jason Momoa? Oh my God. They can't even do Dark Man.
No.
You thought I wasn't willing to wear makeup? Nip tucks off the air, baby. I'll do anything. Her scenes are so weirdly shot because you can tell Tim Story's like, Kerry Washington's hot, but she's
Yeah.
blind. So I don't know really what to do with this scene.
They just have to. She's off to the side,
Talking to air. Like,
doing the blind person. I'm not looking at you.
and oh man, the edits are not nice.
No.
The edits are not nice, like, for her.
See, Jessica Alba looks like she's got more of a tan in this one or
She's
something.
wearing more of the J-Lo bronzer, is what it is. Or she was, it's the lighting.
Yeah, the
So
lighting for sure, because she doesn't look like I say. That was kind of a weird. Not to be on the racial tip, but Jessica Alba is clearly ethnic. Sue Storm, up until this point, was always just a wasp, and you can't make somebody like her. It seems like they were trying hard to make her look
White.
Caucasoid.
Yes, they were. They wanted
You
Jessica
know,
Alba to. We have this has been a theme of the podcast unintentionally as we have watched movie. Oh, it's Brian Poslin or whatever his name is. Um, Unintentionally a theme of this podcast since we've been watching movies from the 80s and 90s to now, and just the continued attempt for Hollywood to sort of get a Latina
yeah.
acceptable to white audiences. And it still hasn't happened. And Jessica
Even
Alba,
yeah,
I
she's
mean, Jessica Alba in the like history of it was barely a ripple. Like, I would say Rachel Tickerton was
there. You go. Yeah,
far more
and
significant back in the day. Yeah.
Maria Conchita Alonso owned it.
Hmm. Yeah. So but this was sort of the last stab at it, and then they just gave up. They were like, so I think honestly, what the problem is that the bronzer is doing a picking up too much of the backlight, and
That
it's
it just
because the
clashes
rest of
with the
it
blonde too. Like,
and the but the rest of it is much more natural than the first one was,
hmm,
like with the lighting. So I think it's another thing where they're suffering from like the movie being better made.
she starved herself just to fit in that dress for these scenes.
I assume that's the dress from the comics. So
Hmm.
the wedding of the Mr. Fantastic and Sue Storm was a big deal in the fucking comics. Um it
Oh,
was
that's
one of the
right.
first big deals, right? That's why she's
Hmm.
wearing basically a Marilyn Monroe dress, like because it's from the 60s. It was a giant crossover event. You had Kirby drawing the entire Marvel universe out of costume and then I think in costume because at this point it was, you know,
Yeah,
well,
heroes showed up.
it was, yeah, and there were only like 12 of them, right? Like,
Hmm.
so like there was everybody was there. Here we've had no cameos. I was on this earlier, but then I dropped it or I forgot it. But like we didn't have any rumors of um there's no reason that dress needs to be that tight.
No.
Jesus Christ, man. I'm just trying to watch a kids movie here. Like calm down. Okay? Like I just want a nice little action sequence that seems like it'd be like the Fantastic Four seems this one has the vibe of what if a 70s superhero adaptation were possible, right? This feels like it totally out of the fucking TV 70s. Just the way they
Yeah.
treat New York. Like, okay, so here we have the Comet and we have Johnny. This is a big trailer moment. And there he is,
Yeah.
everybody. The Silver Surfer. We're 30 minutes in, and we have the Silver Surfer in Fox CGI. Wasn't this what you always wanted?
This shit just
Like, look, the T-1000. No better, no worse.
back then it was like, oh, to a lot of people. The idea of it just being a Silver Surfer at all.
Yeah. And that's because the Silver Surfer is like a fucking. I mean, okay, so some more real talk.
Mm.
There is a segment of the population who loves fantasy, right? It's just a thing. And whatever. They do not critically um examine it to any degree. There's a segment of comic book reader who likes space shit. They do not examine it to any critical degree. But at the very least, space drawings are fucking cool. I will give them that. Space drawings
Mm.
can be cool. Now, this is Doug Jones doing the body work, not um, Larry Fishburne, which
No.
is. And they couldn't even figure out a way to put Larry Fishburne's head on it, which is profoundly cheap. Like, okay, we are in front of a green screen globe. So this is very I mean, this is very 60s. This feels like if somebody did the original script for Superman the movie, right? Like
Yeah, it
it's got a campy
for
vibe to it that it doesn't know what to do with.
that's because up till this point, Raimi's Spider-Man had dropped,
Yes.
and it was okay for this to be corny in a way because it's a family thing. If
Mm.
anything, it was corny squared because it was for families.
And this came out the same year as Spider-Man 3, right? 2007.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. And so this was sort of a year of, a Marvel. It was the year where the movies took the luster was off the sort of the pre MCU adaptation, right? Like
Hmm.
normies weren't into Spider-Man 3 as much. Your X-Men had died at this point. We were in between X-Men.
Mm,
because Origins hadn't come out yet,
mm.
and so we were after Last Stand, but before Origins. I don't think there was anything else. I can't remember. But yeah, and then DC was sort of this was a year after Superman and Batman. So like this was pre Dark Knight and it was still unclear that there wasn't going to be another Superman. Why does he look like Fred Savage? And this is some of the other issue that we'll see with the MCU one is you can do that in a cartoon. You can do that in a comic, but if you do that in live action, it just looks fucking gross and
Yeah, it
weird.
looks silly.
And I don't want to see that. Like, it's like the special effects conception for him is very much like no different than somebody from you can't do that on television. Like, it feels like, dude, she looks totally different from the last scene she was just in.
What if it was something else she was doing at the time? Because it's super distracting.
Well, I mean, she couldn't run in the wig, right? So, like, they
Yeah,
had
the
to
thing looked like it was
do,
about to
yeah.
fall off.
Oh,
Oh, wait.
that might have been cool if there'd been good special effects. Oh, Firestar. I can see some
There you go.
Firestar. There you go.
Uh, uh, uh,
I forgot about this. This is funny. Um, so she's very much her vibe is she's gonna yell at the boys every once in a while, it seems like.
yeah. Wow, he got down there really
He
fast
did. He should have jumped out the window and
and stretched.
oh my god, look at the guy in the hat. Is that a cameo or is that a human being extra?
Oh no.
Weird we don't get the outline then. Um, yeah. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what they do in the Disney. Look at this thing with never his shirt off. Like,
Yeah.
okay, so also we'll note the thing hasn't had shit to do in this, and we are 35 in. Like, the little mini thing here. Dude, he's shorter than Chris Evans.
Yeah. That just that you can't do that. It, it doesn't. I mean, then it wasn't. You understood the assignment that it was clearly on a budget,
Yeah.
and it was more. We're trying to get this performance out of Chickless.
Well, and
If we
then,
did anything else, it was more about the costume or the effects used.
mhm. Okay, so I guess whenever Johnny makes contact, it transfers the powers.
And this is because of
Silver Surfer.
his, yeah, his skirmish with the surfer. Here we go again.
Less
Oh
life than it.
God, E News chick.
E News.
That's God. Is her name? She used to be on all the time too. This is definitely. Mm,
This is very 2007.
Yeah, where you could just, it's one of those movies you could just point at the place and time.
One
He thought,
thing,
hmm,
no, I wonder if they'll sort of address in the new one is the sort of isolation factor. Do they address that in this and we're just not paying enough attention? I don't. Of them just being locked up in the Baxter building. Though the thing is off on his own subplot that they couldn't afford to shoot.
right. Ah, see, look at her, Children of the Damned. That's what she looks like with those damn contacts.
I mean, they could have made it part of this just story. They could have just made it part of the story. It would have been fun. You know what? She didn't need to have blonde hair either. Johnny wasn't a blonde, isn't a blonde. Was he? Did he have dyed blonde hair in the first one?
Not really.
Okay.
It might
So
have been a little lighter, but it wasn't blonde blonde.
yeah, so they're willing to give it up when they give it up. Okay, so now here we have why is the Silver Surfer in the water? Did Doom figure out a way to
He
trap
was,
him? Or... Oh my God, is he really Dark Manning it in this part too? Okay,
yeah,
no,
look at
he.
that.
Oh my God. Star Wars Origins Palpatine, starring Julian McMahon.
This is very similar to how they had Cobra Commander in that first G.I. Joe movie.
So another thing about God, motion capture's gotten so much better. Um,
Yeah, because really, it looks to me like they just used Doug Jones' body as a basis and just
mhm.
completely animated. Like I don't even. It doesn't look like he did any actual mocap.
Nope. And the face work looks terrible. Like, I mean, but this is fucking Fox. God knows how cheap it was. Like,
And they'll never be able to make the mouth look real when it talks.
but in the comics, Surfer is matte for the most part. Like, yes, he'll be shiny on the covers, but you can't until God, I don't even know if they can really do it now. You can't really do shiny in newsprint, right? So like
Uh-uh.
he was always matte, and this way of having him reflect everything instead of it, I don't know. It's a choice. Not I think he should be a step more marble like if you need to figure out reflections and shit, do it off of stone, not a fully like whatever they tried to do. Not don't
Mm,
T1000 it like we've seen T1000.
yeah, we've seen that already. Liquid metal.
Like I love how the glasses make the eyes look even worse because like
Yeah, because aren't they kind of
nah,
aquarium glass?
this is also they're
Yeah, her eyes are
standing
bigger.
staring at nothing but lights and shit and it's supposed to be a screen. But it
Like
looks a
London.
little bit too expensive, or it doesn't look quite cheap enough. I think they do get the Fantasticar in this one.
Yeah, wasn't that what Reed was working on earlier?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh my God, you could see the fucking lace front. Damn, dude, that was a bad one.
Well, I'm sure they told her it'll be fine. By the next one, everybody's going to love you so much they'll take whatever hair you've currently got going. The fans
I
are going to
mean,
be totally fine with this. You
they could have
saw
just went
how
for
many
a haircut.
times you saw how many times we showed your cleavage and everybody was happy in the first one. You said you didn't want to do that, but we were right. Uh we'll be fine by this one. And then they're like, you're still not, you're still a little too ethnic for them. We're gonna try to trick them. They're really stupid people. So around this time is kind of when I feel like streaming really sort of brought British television to America and shit. And now it's finally taken off here, but it had been kicking for ages. But like London, I'd say in the aughts got to be one of the locations you could visit versus and not have to do something weird with
Hmm.
Buckingham Palace or something, right? Like it became like it had the Ferris wheel, basically. Everybody,
Uh,
and it's got the egg building, right? Like,
yeah.
okay, so here we've got Johnny fucked up the save. You got to click buttons A and B really fast now, everybody. Here we've
Yeah,
got,
because this is definitely the. We got to set it back because we can't afford to knock it all the way over.
yep, there she's got a bloody nose, like in the first one. Thing's got his outfit off. He gets a nod from some nondescript white guy. Andre Brower's like, look at you fuck ups.
But they really didn't mess up. It was just,
Johnny did. It was Johnny's fault. And now,
Johnny didn't ruin it, but it's just like Brower's already
um,
pissed. Oh,
and it's like a finger of Galactus. God.
yeesh.
Galactus turns planets into bowling balls.
Right. See, now look at. Man.
Different hair this scene. His hair, Owen Guffaut's hair is different too. Where the fuck are they filming this? Like, oh, look,
Oh,
he's back.
he's Julian McMahon again, huh? Just so we know that it's him playing the part.
Mm-hmm. And they're gonna fucking let
Ben, let him go. Jesus, he's taller than. Oh, God.
yep.
Uh, they couldn't figure out a way to make the thing look a little more imposing. Like,
Nope. They couldn't even do forced perspective. We were years after Lord of the Rings. Chickless must have been like, no, I'm tall enough.
right?
I'm tall enough to be Ben Grimm.
keep acting up, Michael Chiklis, we're gonna get Peter Dinklage.
Nah.
Has sidekick Army Girl, has she said anything yet?
No, I don't think so. Yeah, maybe in the first briefing. I don't know. She introduced herself. She's got to fall for Johnny still at some point, I think. Isn't
Right.
that whoever her character name is? Isn't that whoever becomes Nova? Wasn't there at least that much nod? That's the other thing about these is like the X-Men movies like leaned into the lore, or at least like they did some kind of attempt at Easter eggs.
Mm-hmm.
This is like does not have like any.
Uh-uh.
No, this is very much a feels very work for hire for everybody involved, except Chickless because he wants to wear the outfit.
Well, the problem here is they were hoping for a franchise, and it didn't happen after this.
I think
Like,
some of the
mm.
thinking they needed to introduce another property every time,
Well,
like
that was the plan, wasn't it?
yeah,
Silver Surfer was supposed to spin off of this. Like,
yep,
there
Silver
was talk
Surfer
of
was
it
gonna, yep,
for a minute, and then they were just like, because they were gonna replace Doug Jones at some point, because they wanted one guy to play it, and they were like, we got to get Vin Diesel in on this.
they wanted to spin off Silver Surfer. They thought this was gonna finally be how they launched Black Panther.
Mm-hmm.
They thought, and I mean, didn't Wesley just like have the choice between Black Panther and Blade and pick Blade? Like, wasn't it
Yeah, for the
that
longest,
close
he
in the
was gonna do
90s?
both.
Yeah, it was
Back
like
then, he was
that
gonna do both.
close. He could have just said,
Well, well, well.
man, I don't believe she had the upper body strength to do that.
Not in the least.
So, but yeah, so that was their thought was is this was going to be how Fox could grow the universe because they were in between X-Men's, right? Like,
Yeah, X-Men was always Fox's go-to when the rest of these didn't do well enough.
but we'd already like run our course on the Daredevil Elektra duet,
Hmm.
like that was over. So, I mean, to some degree, the issue of Kevin Feige being a wonderkind is also just that they did a really bad job at that before. Like they were thinking of all of these as individual franchises.
Yeah, this was before the
And
big. We can cross them over.
right. Because at Fox, They never want to spend the money to make the money.
Mm-mm.
They want to spend a little bit of money and somehow make more money. With the exception of the Die Hard franchise, at least the first three. I don't know how much the fourth one was budgeted. I feel like the fourth one had a healthy budget though. Like
Yeah, they
they,
put something behind it because it was Die Hard.
yeah, they actually would pay for Die Hard movies. They would not pay for any other sci-fi movies, including superhero. Like they always wanted to do that shit on the absolute cheapest. Going back to the 70s with Planet of the Apes, which has been discussed ad nauseum. Okay. Oh, it's an effects scene.
Yeah,
Mhm.
this supermodel looks nothing like a tough army chick.
No, and we're also
Steve's
at
girlfriend here from 90210.
right. We're also running into Chris Evans just being 6 foot, which was one of the things that was gonna hold it. God, who were they talking about for Captain America? Like
I can't remember.
it
Well, it was
was
between Chris's, was it? Well, not
no, Hemsworth was
work,
out
but
of it. I don't think Pratt hadn't been willing to work out to fucking
or Chris
really.
Pine, because I know he had to been considered, right?
He had to have been considered too, but he's sort of. I think I don't. Is he even 6 foot? Like,
I don't think he's
yeah.
very.
So I think it was like Channing Tatum was on the fucking
Oh
list,
God,
which yeah, they should have gotten him for John Walker. If you really wanted
yeah,
to
I
do
could see that.
John Walker, you do Channing Tatum. You do somebody that like. Okay, so here we are for our big action sequence in the middle of a forest because it's budgetable.
Now she's wearing a ponytail wig. Look how marbly the thing looks.
Hmm.
Oh, there we
Oh
go.
my God, Johnny! Like, stop touching people, you fucking idiot. Okay, so here we are going through the woods because we're back to a budget.
I gotta give it to him though. These movies, they knew the assignment.
Yeah, I mean, like, the problem with this is it's a fucking 92-minute kids movie. Like,
Yeah, this would have never, passed in the MCU.
no,
It would have to at least be 2.5 hours.
we don't have anywhere near. Well, the MCU. This is pre-drone. We don't know what this would have looked like if they'd had drone technology back then. They should have done a Science Heroes opening mission, I feel like,
Mm.
to like call back or something. All right, the Silver Surfer has arrived with his liquid metal surfboard and his too big head. And God, just look at how fast most of the shots are, though. Like, they just do not want to fucking pay for an effect shot.
Mm-mm. See, I can't stand the way the mouth moves in CGI. Like it doesn't. You know what it looks like when they talk in CGI back then? It looks like how you hear the adult sound in Charlie Brown cartoons.
Look at his big old neck. Oh, God. They couldn't even keep the model straight. Oh,
Oh, yeah, that's why I say there's nothing really mocap about that.
no. They must
Are
have
we?
they must have
Is
heard
this?
of mocap and been like, yeah, we
Yeah,
did that. We did that. It's also shot in 3D.
this is what's his name's era, right? Gollum. Uh,
Yeah. Um,
Ulysses Claw. God
Andy
damn, what?
Serkis.
Yeah, he sort of perfected it, right? Because
Yeah, he was the first big one, and then Doug Jones sort of. Doug Jones, didn't he wear costumes for
yeah, he did.
Yeah,
He was Hellboy, or no, the fish guy in Hellboy.
yeah. And he was in Pan's Labyrinth and shit. So like he would have been who you would have gotten if you wanted it to like have a it's a weird like attempt to appeal to a certain, I don't know, maybe fan slash technical demographic that doesn't matter for this movie at all. And that's
Mm.
kind of what the MCU just said. And they did that before Disney bought them, was they were just like, it doesn't fucking matter. Like, we're just gonna fucking do the thing. People don't actually care about that. Like, they care that Jessica Alba stops to put on lipstick before they go to the prison camp.
Oh, well, she swapped it out.
Yep. Oh, hey, it's Zach Grenier.
That guy.
Yep.
When you don't want to hire irate Kevin Dunn,
Or what's his face?
hmm,
There's another guy who's basically just the Zach Greniers of.
yeah.
Oh, he's the mad scientist. Okay. So our alien dissection scene is 61 minutes in. Now, it's kind of interesting that they never, I assume that Roland Emmerich has never been willing to do a superhero movie, but this seems very much like Fox would have tried to get him behind one of their licenses after Independence Day, or brought him back to one. So here we're thinking it out. We're a team, everybody, and we're a family. Because I mean, how long was Johnny a teenager in the comics?
He was a teenager practically as long as Spider-Man was, right?
Yeah, it was a
Like Johnny didn't
long.
really, yeah, he didn't grow up till maybe the mid to late 70s,
Yeah. So like the thing
the
about
80s. Yeah,
because I mean I can't I mean Spider-Man probably topped out at what, like 28? Like he never got older than 28.
yeah. They'll never make him 30 or a hard 32
Nah.
because then he's, Superman's age. So he tops out at about 28.
And that's really hurting like the concept of a Johnny Storm in movies. Like having to deal with your actors aging is
Yeah, they
difficult.
never had a actual teen Johnny Storm,
No.
so he has to be 20 something.
I also don't really see like Silver Surfer is not a great antagonist. Like he's kind of bland. Like
Well, this was supposed to be Galactus more, and Surfer just served the purpose of, hey, here's what we're gonna do after this movie with this guy.
mm-hmm.
This was a pilot, you know.
And instead, look, it's a Galactus-sized bowling ball.
Ugh,
Don't talk to me with those contact lenses, Missy.
yeah, not so close.
Okay, also, the mask should look more like the model, the CG model, or vice versa. This is Doug Jones
Yeah,
encased in fucking rubber. But essentially, this would be something that the MCU did better with Vision, basically. And by sort of just like leaning into, well, they had better CG. Obviously, look
Vision
at
looks
this.
good. Oh, they
There's
kind of
Galactus.
you almost think that's the shadow of his head, but
It's not, because this
no.
movie's not going to do that.
But Colossus looks like that now. Still, they
Yeah,
haven't they haven't gotten that completely right either.
yeah. We'll see if they ever.
I keep thinking they were gonna get it better in the Deadpool movies, but they never really.
No. Like, I like the dude. Like, I think that's a
Hmm.
funny take on it, but like,
But he still doesn't look, you know.
nah. Okay. So Victor, I'm sure Reed has been saying Victor's got a evil plan. Victor's like, no, I don't, dude. I'm a foreign diplomatic immunity. But wait, Victor's got a plan because we're gonna get Doom on the surfboard, which sort of tells you when these vibes are from, right? This should be treated like a fucking 60s beach movie or something, right? Like to some extent, that was. I brought the mask because I want to wear the mask before I ride the surfboard.
They always do this with the. Eh, it's just Doom is a little more. Uh,
Yeah.
but like we said, these are kids movies, and you can't really ask too much of them.
Nah. Fucking Skeletor here from
Right.
Big Skeletor energy.
Power.
Gee, I shouldn't have trusted you.
Oh,
Oh, damn.
there goes Andre Brower.
Oh
Eh.
my God. I was waiting for the I told you so scene. Okay.
Mm,
Very cartoonish,
hmm.
but also having
Oh,
it.
look at that.
Oh, see, there you go with the body humor again, right? It's just fucking like I liked how Owen Gaffard was like shoving his way through the actors there so he could be.
Yeah, let me get in the front here. I am Reed.
I am top build. Okay. Also, we'll have to see if in the MCU one, them getting to the future and having smartphones totally changes the game like it would in the past here.
Mm,
So, some of the other issue is they're trying to make the Fantasticar cool, which is maybe not the move.
it looks like his face is Arnold mold.
Hmm. Looks like it's different from the last shot now,
That
too.
right there is. Yeah.
Yeah. We gotta see who this
Yeah, just
chick
put the gun
is.
down.
There was a lot of acting she did there with the wavering. All right, here we are at our James Bond bunker.
So they definitely had to have something with Doug in the suit.
Mm-hmm. Gotta make him earn that money. Okay, the traipsing, if it like he can't run in the suit, they should do something about it. Okay, so here we have our Fantasticar. It's cool. You could see it at NASCAR. We're normal,
They
or we can appeal across quadrants.
they had the toy, right?
Oh, I'm sure.
And this must have been part of the.
We've got the Batman Forever issue here that Reed only built it with 4 seats.
No canopies or anything.
Of course not. Don't be a nerd. So, like the Fantastic Car, as initially designed, was like a hovering.
Yeah.
You stood in it, like It was like a hovering observation thing. Like, what's that? It must be Doom on a surfboard.
Oh.
Man,
Doom
worked for good enough for Willem Dafoe.
is a wicked witch. Oh, look at
Uh,
that.
haven't you ever seen what was it? Generations?
Oh,
Oh my god.
they split the Fantasticar and
Into three parts. Look, we're gonna blow up the Great Wall of China too.
oh, it's the Reed's gonna have to put that back together with, put back together Wall of China vision.
So I like how somebody was like, well, the Fantasticar's gotta be like realistic though, right? Like a little bit. Like
Ah,
it's gotta like have the like I wonder who did the production design on that. Like was
yeesh.
Kenner like we got these fans we want to use it with. All right. Vancouver's Chinatown is gonna take a hit here. See, this whole idea of making the Fantastic Four international.
Oh, yeah, this is around the time everything was,
Yeah. And
you have to
they
sell to them over there. This is
it
when
was
everybody got hip to it.
yeah, it was just about to hit and they like were getting they hadn't like I don't wow, fucking Silver Surfer didn't do shit. Um but it was like before they started like putting a little bit of effort into it. So it's like weird fucking but I mean this is more effort than you'd have a few years later.
Mm.
Once you realized you could just film like a cameo and insert it in the China only version and shit. But I think most Chinese blockbusters now are from China. So it's like the endless
Yeah,
well that they thought they were. I mean, that's like the funniest fucking thing is they think these markets last forever and then they've realized that they don't. And that's just what it's been forever because it's all. Why
yeah,
is
because they
Chris
get
Evans'
tired of
hair
over
so
here.
much different? Look at his hair. He's got a
Yeah.
practical cowlick. Why? Oh,
Oh,
all right. So how are they going to stop the fingers of Galactus? God damn, that mask looks terrible.
oh, they turned Johnny into a super scroll.
Hey, isn't that Avengers Tower
It could be.
in CGI Hong Kong here or wherever? Oh, what is Chickless doing?
He's just not a man of action.
No, he
Poor
just
guy.
he
He
really
loves the part.
wants to be. He does. He's trying so hard, but it is just like
Well, there was at one point he was really in, he had lost the weight and he kind of looked like a sort of next door Bruce Willis almost. But
Yeah.
it didn't last long.
No. It's given big Shazam energy in some ways too.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Well,
this
there you
is sort of
go.
the problem is what are you going to do? It's too late, everyone. I'm sorry.
What if
Galactus
they
has
just
arrived.
what if they just ended it like this though?
Yep.
Wait, she died again?
I mean, she didn't die the first time. She's been dying this whole time.
Oh, because she had the whole head tilt before.
Yeah, 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 yeah. She was holding on long enough to
Yeah.
get those contact lenses out, maybe.
Uh,
Um, I'm sure Owen Gaffard wanted to play Hamlet. He should have worked on his crying. Is Silver Surfer just gonna fucking bring her back to life like it ain't no thing now? Wow. Look at the
oh, wait a
extras,
minute.
everybody. Look at the extras.
Oh, he's back now. What?
Yep. Yep. Ain't no thing. I could have brought her back the whole time.
Really? You gave her Ghostbusters glow effect.
I mean, huh. I thought I'd have more power than that. Didn't fucking work. Yep, I guess she's fucking dead. Sorry.
Yeah, the next movie will have a different suit.
You like that Blake Lively lady? She got married on a plantation. She never would invite Jessica Alba to her wedding. Yeah, let's.
Uh-oh.
So this was also the year that they sort of realized that people weren't ready for the CG fights they were doing. Like, so there's that big long ass sequence in Spider-Man where he saves Gwen Stacy.
Mm.
But and Superman Returns sort of had one, and I at the time I remembered Superman Returns did it the best. But like people were just kind of done with the all CGI like Quicksilver sequence basically
Mm.
until it came back 2 years later. All these fucking concerns people have about this shit is basically just like in the moment people are sick of one thing and then 6 months later it's fine because Jason Momoa had his shirt off in Aquaman 1 or whatever. Again, nobody who like fucking is gonna cape for Warner Brothers special effects gets to say a fucking word about anybody's like because Warner Brothers effects are garbage and they have been for since the year 2000 or something. Like the Harry Potter movies look like they were made on a fucking Commodore 64 or whatever. Like, go away. There you go. I could have
Like
sent
that.
Galactus away the whole time.
There it goes in a puff.
The Silver Surfer will return. The lights are back.
Are they gonna applaud? They're
I don't
gonna
know.
cheer, aren't they?
Like some of the issue with the thing in this one is it's just like if he's not chickless, you cannot figure out what the fuck he's supposed to be up to.
Yeah, he does nothing.
Like his entire like what is he even doing in this? Like he's
They have to
barely in it.
figure out stuff for him to do.
Johnny's
There's not
back.
enough. There wasn't enough interaction between him and Kerry Washington either in this.
No shit. Did they even have a scene together alone? I don't think so. Okay, Johnny's no longer able to take powers. Everybody, let's hug.
The blood smear on her brow.
Mm-hmm. Think the Silver Surfer could have taken that away. One of the worst, like, what? It's cold in Vancouver this time of year, don't you think? The edits are still very choppy.
Oh, look at that. They got married over there.
Oh, and there's the.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh. Oh, and they got Brian Postlin back. Oh, that's so cute. Oh, what about the ring? Oh, wait.
Why does this scene look 80s?
Because it looks, I mean, they probably were like, can you up the John Hughes factor? And they're like,
Mhm.
dude, how am I supposed to up the John Hughes factor with all these cleavage shots? And then they're like, haven't you seen 16 Candles? All right, they got to go save the world
Off again.
in the Fantasticar and some fucking bad composites, some really bad composites. Oh,
Oh.
wow. That's wow. You're
I
not
guess she's
coming
back.
back for the next one, honey.
Yeah. She won't be in part three.
No, you can be in the Silver Surfer movie. Oh, there we go.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh,
Oh, it's the Thor
they did the thing with the four and the thingy thing.
with my playset. My cars break apart. Dude, 86 minutes. So you cut out all the fucking cleavage shit and you're at 80. Oh shit, hold on. That's right.
You think you're the only superpowered herald to ever float around in space?
Don't you want to see next summer, folks? Okay. Dune Entertainment LLC is one of like Brett Ratner or one of those guys' fucking things. Oh, that Captain Ray is Bo Garrett.
Hmm.
That's right.
Oh,
Uh,
okay. So she was Frankie Ray.
yeah. We got some really fast credits going here too, everybody. Like
Well, this
they
is
might.
before.
Oh, oh, and I bet all of our extras are credited as stunt people. Um, I actually wonder, was this cut down like a lot to get in more showings? I wonder.
Probably. That's another reason why it was probably
Like
cut down.
there's if you were trying to pad this to 90 whatever minutes, I would have slowed these fucking credits down. Though on the other hand, I would not want to listen to more of John Ottman's music. So,
Yeah, because this is very generic superhero movie. Does it even have Fantastic Four doesn't even have a recognizable theme. You would think
no.
they would have gave that to them.
No, we're just fast forwarding through what does Hans Zimmer call them, his notebooks or whatever? Trying to cover for the fact he did like 12 minutes of music for Man of Steel and they just spread it out. Like, yeah, look at this. We're doing double up credits on some of this shit. There's no reason the animal trainer needs to be doubled up.
Well, this is back when you just wanted it. This is for whoever wants to sit through it.
Dude, look at the voice actors. They totally did fucking dub in voices over crowd shots so they wouldn't have to pay
Hmm.
people. You know who didn't get to go to London? The Fantastic Four. Dude, Ottman was coming off of Superman Returns at this point. Like,
Yeah, but that wasn't.
no, it wasn't, but it's still just kind of like, how do you go like that dude flushed one of the most prestigious gigs. Like, he really did.
Oh, this shit is just droning and repeating now.
Mhm. Oh, Greg Strauss and Colin Strauss, I believe were those the guys who did Alien versus Predator 2? I think that was the Strauss brothers, yeah. Ooh, the Orphanage Inc. These are just a bunch of fucking old CG places that aren't around anymore. Like, look at an additional visual effects. Like, they fucking rush to get this shit through. Also, you notice this is before a lot of those effects are done in Asia.
Mm.
Okay, so we've got our Hong Kong and China. Billy Battalato, no doubt, is the child of that dipshit Bill Battalato who produced Alien 4 and Behind Enemy Lines and was a fucking hack producer at
Behind enemy
another
line.
another fucking hack oh
Isn't
wow.
that the one they made a sequel to that shit?
They've had like seven of them, yeah.
Oh God! So it's officially
They've had like
an
four. I
Iron
don't think they.
Eagle.
Yeah, well, nobody ever comes back, like obviously. But yeah, no. So and yeah, so just a hack fucking producer there fits right in at Fox. I mean, that is good. We were saying that last time. This is sort of the first time in years we've seen what people who don't just suck the life out of creative
Yeah.
energy do with Fox properties. And it's just like, oh, Romulus isn't good, but it doesn't make me want to stick a fucking ice pick in my eyeball like the Alien versus Predators
Mm.
2 did, like, or Predators, Jesus. Yeah. So this came out, fizzled despite it sort of getting, like I enjoy a lot of this movie. I don't, Bo Garrett does not really pay off, and it does, a lot of it is cringy. And we should have known better in 2007. But I like this one. All right. Like for what
Yeah,
it
it's
is.
not. Both of them are. They're not horrible. They're just standard. You
Yeah. I
know.
mean, they're what you would have,
Yeah,
they're
this is
very
something
much.
you watch on an afternoon. A kid isn't gonna. You know. They're definitely for kids who just don't give a shit.
Yeah, I mean, we watched fucking Superman 4 back in the day,
Hmm.
like,
Yeah, these are baby's first superhero
right.
movies, basically.
So it's fine. And this one, some issues aside, it improved on a lot of things that were wrong in the first one. So next time we will be watching 2015, is it?
Mm, yeah, I think
Yep.
so.
Oh God, and it's 100 minutes. 2015's Fantastic Four, directed by Josh Trank in his final, I think, is this his last credit? Like, oh no, he did Capone. That's right. Um, and produced by the Fantastic, or no, the X-Men guys, actually. So
Mm,
we're going to see a lot of familiar Simon Kinberg, Matthew Vaughn, Hutch Parker. Um, and it was a also notorious bomb
mm,
in a way that I would say, like, we're bookending here, right? Like Fantastic Four 94 was a bomb that wasn't released, and Fantastic Four 2015 is a bomb that was released. It will also be interesting because they put their foot down on shitty fans and said Johnny's black and Sue's adopted, basically.
oh
I
yeah,
think.
this one.
Or they don't even mention it in the movie, is how they get away with it. Or they get away with it. But like they weren't they weren't having that conversation in 2015 because they were like, it's 2015, we're not having this conversation, go fuck yourself. The
And it was
problem
more,
is,
yeah, it was more who they cast it as. Nobody was gonna argue about that. Was before the whole angry fan sort
yeah,
of movement set in. Before all the fans became suddenly, you know, a racist.
right, a gaggle of racists, right,
Yeah,
basically. um so but this was sort of young-ish. They were, I mean, they were in their, it was like 10 years ago ish, so they were like late 20s, early
yeah. This is
30s.
the 20. This is supposedly the youngish, sort of based
Yeah,
on the Ultimate Fantastic Four, right?
maybe. I think it's interdimensional. I don't. Doom is in it, played by Toby Kendall,
Oh.
who is in Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. Not sure if that's a nice thing to say. Oh, he was in Warcraft. I'll bet he's good. Uh, but yeah, so it's Michael B. Jordan in his only to date superhero live action role. Um,
Yeah, then
well, I mean, he still hasn't played a hero,
he hasn't played it here. Well,
right,
since then.
since then. So, but this was from the maker of Chronicle, which is a what if regular shitty kids got superpowers or something movie. But yeah,
Mm,
so I've never seen it. So the plan is to watch it before we record. So that's going to be a great night for me. And yeah, so this was one where basically the director spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on coke and hookers in like a mansion he was renting or something, like, and they're just like, you can't do this, and he's like, yes I can. Brett Ratner's producing this. Okay. So yeah, so that'll be next time, and then after that we will figure out what's on deck.
yeah, yeah, we're gonna power through this last or more current iteration of the FF.
If the mood strikes, I don't know if there were any like significant failed attempts to relaunch it because we could do the research, but basically the X-Men came back in 2009 or whatever, 2010, enough
Right.
that Fox wasn't trying to exploit its other licenses because as Disney has learned, at a certain point, you can't actually make more content. There's a limit to how much special effects heavy content you can make, it turns
Mm-hmm.
out, even in the 21st century.
Oh, yeah. Uh, these were harmless.
I
I,
would have loved a third. I wouldn't have loved a Black Panther one, but I would have loved a third one that really,
yeah,
if
something a
they,
little more.
yeah, grounded in no Doctor Doom, maybe. Like,
Right. Something that didn't have him in it,
yeah, let
because that's what
the,
really kind of brought it down. You could have had a Galactus surfer film, or
yeah,
better yet, slip somebody like Namor in.
if only. But yes, we talked about Namor is still at Universal, so
Right. Yeah.
technically, so
So you can't really. That would have been hard. Ugh.
Wakanda Forever was good. Like,
Oh, you saw it?
yeah, I saw it
I
along this
gotta,
time. Yeah,
I gotta watch it again.
like
I
some
just,
like it doesn't. It's got its problems, but there's a like the world building in that is still the best. Like especially compared to the other Phase 4 things,
yeah.
like the Immort. No, not the. What was it called? The Eternals was a
Oh,
yeah,
see, the Eternals got made because they flopped with the Inhumans. I think if the Eternals had been the show and the Inhumans had been the movie, they probably would have, something would have worked. But the Eternals was just fucking boring.
yeah. Definitely not what was needed then.
I didn't mind Angelina though, and it was just boring.
No, yeah, wasn't like everybody fine except for the lead guy. That guy sucked.
Yeah, that guy sucked.
Yeah. So, yeah. Don't adapt Marvel Knights for movies. That's what
Uh,
we've learned. Okay. Um, yeah. So next time we'll be suffering through
yeah, Josh Trank,
Josh Trank.
his iteration of it's not even just Fantastic Four. I think people called it Fanforstic because of the way it was spelled on the poster or something.
Yep. That is how it's spelled on the poster. Fucking Fox. Okay. Well, we'll be back.
All right, folks. Happy holidays.
Yes. Happy holidays. Check out the Tim Story Fantastic Fours while you try to keep the children amused.
Or you could just watch Home Alone if you're really in that Fox Family Entertainment mood.
Good point. Chris Columbus and all. Uh,
Alrighty.